It was a long process. It was, it took us 6 months to find a church, and we went to a bunch of different churches, and but all the time, one of us had reservations.
I needed to feel that connection, that the sermon was relatable to our daily life and that we could take that and use that throughout the week instead of just something that we came to on Sunday.
So we went to Calvary, listened to a sermon on a Sunday, and walked out of there. Both of us said, this is it.
I was in the mother's room and JD was in service, and we actually were texting each other, and I'm like, I think this is where I want to be. And JD was like, me too. So that was pretty cool that we weren't actually even sitting together, in the service, and we both felt that that this was where we were going to call home.
So I started the first summer, just kind of volunteered for Summer Blast. I heard there was a bunch of sports, and I enjoy sports, and I enjoy playing with kids, and got plugged in with dodgeball. The kid mindset is so amazing that they're there to have fun, and it's so much fun for me as a volunteer to be able to tap into that. It gives me that hour and a half, or 2 hours, whatever I get to spend with the kids, that I get to just release, what I'm doing.
That first year that he did Summer Blast, Zoe wasn't old enough, our oldest, wasn't old enough to be in Summer Blast, so she came with JD and she blew the whistle for dodgeball. And she thought that was awesome. But watching her come home and sing the songs as a 3-year-old was really fun. And JD would send me these little clips of her worshiping. That's what made me contact Lindsay and be like, I want to do something.
There's a lot of kids. We've got our own kids, so why not put back into growing our next generation?
I get to go to church and be filled on a Sunday morning because there are other people volunteering and pouring into my children. I feel like it's only right that I do the same for those people. I want other parents to get to go to church and be filled and poured into. It takes a village to raise kids now. You can't do it, just being at home. And when they get to come twice a week to church, my kids look forward to it every single week. Zoe went to Monclova Christian for preschool. And so, they talk about God and the Bible stories and things like that. And it was last year when she went to kindergarten, it was different. And so right away, she asked her teacher if she could talk about God in class. And her teacher called me and was like, I didn't have the heart to tell Zoe that she couldn't stand up in front of class and preach about God in school. And so we had to talk about that a little bit. And I told her that, in lunch and during her free time, she was absolutely welcome to share about Jesus and what he does for her. And then the one day she took her Bible to school, she came home and she said, Mom, I gave my Bible away today because I don't have it anymore. And I was like, well, why did you give it away? And she said, well, there's a little girl at school in my class and she doesn't have a Bible and she doesn't get to go to church. And I was so proud of her heart in that moment, just so giving that her one Bible that we had given her, she gave to somebody else because they didn't have that. And sometimes I feel in the world that our kids grow up in, I want to wrap them in bubble wrap, and not let all the things that happen in our world get to them. And then I realized that because of our church and because of the ministry and because of the things we do at home, she's equipped for that, and she gets to really be the hands and feet of Jesus at 6. This past year in November, she made the decision to be baptized, which was an incredible experience. And as a mom at first I was thinking, does she really know what that means? And you ask her and she does. She knows exactly what being baptized means. And
can you tell us your name and why you want to be baptized?
My name is Zoe and I want to be baptized because I want to follow Jesus' plans and his footsteps for me.
It was very humbling to see that my daughter at 6 years old has made this decision. I can see it starting in my 4 and 2-year-old as well. They're on that same path.
Daily life changes from what happens in those classrooms on Sundays and Wednesdays. Our kids in this church are going to change the world. And for me to get to be a small part of that is super fun, to get to feel like I'm invested.